Hello everybody, today I'm going to introduce you guys to my plants. In this video, I'm going to let them speak for themselves, introduce themselves and let you guys know how they love to be cared for. Hi there, I am June. I am a marble queen pothos, or what they call money plant in India. Unlike most commonly available money plants, my leaves are white and green and highly variegated, which is something that makes Ranju very happy. And I also have a second vine which for whatever reason loves to remain solid green. She does kind of have some variegated patches here and there, but she's mostly green. It makes Ranju question why one of my veins are variegated and why the other one is plain green. She also waters me whenever my soil gets dry, which is what I absolutely love. And also when no one is looking, Ranju comes, plays with us a little bit and steals some kisses with us, makes us feel so loved. And peeking behind June is me. I'm Coco. Ranju placed me in this lovely terracotta pot given to her by her aunt. I have these gorgeous yellow leaves that are striped by green. In my pot, I have a whole bunch of seashells that Ranju and Vicky collected over their honeymoon in Andaman. Ranju thinks this is the safest place for her most treasured trinkets. She knows that I'll take good care of them. That's why she has trusted them with me. And also, surprise, there is a little golden pothos growing in there. Nobody knew how this plant came to be growing here. Ranju wonders how this came about. I personally think that I put out so much positive vibe that the pothos simply could not help but grow in my pot. Namaste. I am Shashi. I am a spider plant. In fact, I am a propagating version of a spider plant. The fact that I have white stripes running down my leaves is so interesting to Ranju. Ranju picked me up from a convention hall nearby and she put me in this chrome gold pot. If you're wondering there's soil in it, well, you're mistaken. I am currently floating on water. Ranju changes my water about once a week and every 2 to 3 days she gives me a refill if I have consumed most of it. I also sit in her kitchen next to her filter coffee. So I am one of the very first people she meets in the morning when she's making herself a pot of coffee. She actually ruffles my leaves, plays with me, and it makes me feel so happy. I am Tara. I am Lucky Bamboo, or that's what they call me here in India. I was the first plant that ever came to live with Ranju and Vicky, and rightfully so, the only picture of them stays right next to me. I was given to Ranju by her mother-in-law at her wedding, and Ranju has lovingly taken such good care of me that I have been reaching for the stars every single day. Since the time I have come, in about 2 years' time, I have easily grown about 4 to 5 inches, which is something that makes Ranju so happy about me. I also have this dainty fluorescent green leaves that just makes Ranju look at me and dote upon me all the time. She's placed me in a reusable plastic container in some water. Once in a week she changes my water, gives me a bath under the tap like as if I'm a tiny little baby, washes my leaves and puts me back into the same pot of fresh water. She ruffles my leaves to make sure I have dripped off any excess and places me on her kitchen counter about once a week so I can receive some indirect sunlight. Then I'm back to my spot on the shelf where I love sitting all by myself, growing a little tall every single day. I am Cleanthea. I'm a Monstera deliciosa. I originally come from Mexico, but Ranju got me from Amazon. When I arrived to her house, I was in pretty bad shape. I had 2 leaves that were almost sunburned and at the point of wilting. Vicky honestly had little faith. He thought Ranju would totally kill me. In fact, the day I arrived, he apologized to me and showed very little hope. But I took it up as a challenge, and with Ranju, look who is laughing. I have in fact put out 2 new leaves, and my leaves are larger than both of Ranju's palms put together. And also, my leaves are so shiny, glossy, and the fact that my leaves have large slits and holes, oh my god, is such a conversation starter at Ranju's place. And unlike most people, I love to stay humid. Ranju gives me a spritz of water and that helps my leaves from curling and I stay glossy and shiny. Yo, I'm Som. I am Ranju's fiddly fig tree. I originally come from Africa and I had a lot more leaves when I was here, but I am very temperamental. I like to be watered exactly on the same day, exactly on the same type, and I also do not like to be moved. And because Ranju tried to experiment by placing me in a couple of different places, I dropped most of my leaves and I currently have only 5 leaves, but luckily I'm budding a new one. And right next to me is my twin, a fraternal twin. Of course, that's what Ranju says me because he's so different from me, and his name is Apollo. Yes, that's me. I am Apollo the rubber plant. I am the burgundy rubber plant that is very native to India. I have these thick, glossy, shiny leaves, but I'm a slow grower. Since June, I have only put out this one new leaf, and this other tiny little leaf, I'm still working on it. But I like to take things slow and steady. But don't you worry, when I grow into a huge tree. Ranju better move into a bigger house next time. But together, me and Som make the best of siblings. We stay in Ranju and Vicky's living room where we get sufficient indirect sunlight, and because we also love our leaves to be clean and free of dust so our pores can breathe, Ranju gives our leaves a wipe down once every 2 days, and she kindly also sprays our leaves with some water. Not really necessary, but we absolutely appreciate it all the same. Having said that, the person who spends the most time with us is Vicky, because he sits right next to us at his desk and works most of the day. And because he's such a nice person and worries every single time either one of us sheds a leaf, we send him so much love and blow him secret little kisses behind his back. Hello, we are the Minions. We live on Ranju's living room windows, her bedroom windows, and on her bedroom door frame. We all live in recycled glass bottles filled with water and tied to the window rods by these macrame knots that Ranju makes whenever she finds a little time on her hand. One of Tara's plants was dying, so Ranju found out how she could salvage me. She cut me, put me in a bottle, and here I am breeding my own new root. And me, Veera, the aloe vera plant. And me, Coco the second, Coco's son. And me, Violet. We were all living by the street side, and Ranju simply adopted us. This way, we did not cost her any money. At the same time, we also found a house. We purify air for her, and in turn, she changes our water once a week and gives us a top up in between the week whenever we ask for it. And to make our macrame nests, she gathered 6 sturdy strings, and depending on what length she wanted, 4 to 5 inches extra, gathered them all and tied a loop knot. Then she made pairs of 2 and tied these 2 ropes into a loop knot as well. She then again split the strings apart and gathered the center 2 knots together and tied loop knots around them as well. She also collected the 2 strings on either end and made a loop knot as well. For the size of bottle she has, she finds that 2 knots each should do the work. But if your bottles are longer or larger, feel free to make more knots to make sure your bottles and your plants feel more secured as well. Every morning when Ranju opens the window to let out some fresh air and sip on some cold water, she spends some quality time with us. She plays around with our leaves, pats us, smiles at us, and that makes us so happy. Hi, I am Galina. Apart from Violet, I am the only purple plant that brings a little bit of color and diversity to Ranju's house. She got me from this organic store in JP Nagar. I was simply growing on their rooftop. She asked the billing man to give her a couple of cuttings. She honestly did not think I would survive here, but she put me in this bottle of water in good faith, and I am currently enjoying this corner. I receive indirect sunlight most of the day, and I am happy for it. And hey, remember the money plant that Ranju used to have in her kitchen window? Well, I got super hot there and started wilting. So really scared for me, Ranju cut the best of my plant and put me in her bedroom. She calls me Jada. I have beautiful heart-shaped leaves with golden variegation. Well, hello, I'm the last one on this tour. I'm Shravan. I stay right next to Jada, but I am not the last one. Ranju actually hopes to get a lot more plants. Ranju asked one of her neighbors to give her a couple of cuttings of me, and she put me in this bottle where I'm just sprouting roots. Also in my bottle, Ranju has dropped in a small brass Buddha, hoping that he would bring a lot of positivity to her bedroom. I don't know if that's really working out, but the Buddha is meditating a lot of positivity into my water. Well, don't think that you've seen the last of us. Ranju actually hopes to bring a lot more plants into the house, and pretty sure we will meet you all with more of our siblings. Sending you green vibes. Bye.